It is so frustrating when we fall out of the timeline that we already had a grasp on, but it's just not anchored in. I totally get that. So what you're looking for is a blueprint, a framework that works on very many different levels, and not just a I am shifting this little thing and then everything is gonna fall into place. Wish it would be that easy. So for me, that always works on very many levels. And I imagine building a house like an actual architect building a house to kind of get that visualized. So first we're starting at building the basement. The basement is the shadow work, and that is, spoiler alert, the actual hardest part, because you sit with your demons here. You have to really think about like, why did this happen to me? What's the lesson of the universe, God source, however you want to call it, that is within this? What's the benefit in this? And there is a benefit, even though it's very uncomfortable to think about that. Every situation, how uncomfortable it is for you, has a benefit. Otherwise, it wouldn't have occurred. So, what part of you has contributed to the situation you're in? What's the benefit? However small you might think it is, but there is one. And then ask yourself, like, if you are falling into victimhood and thinking this is done to you and you basically don't have anything to do with it, or if you can actually step up and say like, oh, part of that is mine, and also I am part in every creation, every experience that I have. So we're basically talking about the shift between the power dynamic of victimhood versus embracing that you're the creator of your own life. That is the basement. Then we go to ground floor, where you start identity work with the first questions like, how would I move if I have what I already wished I have? In that case, your partner back. Like, how would you feel? What would that version of yourself feel, look, act, behave, think? All the things. Get really, really, really clear on what that future version of you is. And also ask yourself, where are your doubts in this? And the moment you realize the doubts, you're stepping into the first flow, the second part of the identity work, which is running the protocol to don't let limiting beliefs come up to you. Starting stress release and first somatic exercises so that your body knows that there is a different timeline that it can jump to and that you can actually hold it, because that is what made you snap back in the first place, is your doubts and your somatics. And then really start with the visualization. Really go in creation from the big mind, not the ego mind. And then second floor, we're going deep into somatics. We ask ourselves, like, how would I move if I actually believe I have this and this is anchored within me? What versions of me would be stressed, what not? How would I feel? How safe would my body feel? What stuff is coming up around enoughness or not worthiness? All of that. So deep into the somatics, really deep into energy work. And then at the roof, we are anchoring all of that in with identity work, with lots of habits, with learning to magnetize the thing that you want in your life, how to hold it. So this is full on trust. This is also full on surrender to the universe, because maybe I should have said that at the first start of this video, but there is no way where you can manipulate someone into something. The only thing that you can do is always work on you. Everything else will crumble and fall at some point. So there is the magnetizing, and you can do your part to it. But if it's not happening, then that is a full-on trust and surrender that the universe has something better for you in store, even though you might not feel, see, or be able to believe it yet. So with all of that in mind, you can do a tremendous amount of work. It looks like this. You can really architecture your life to the top, to being able to hold that timeline, but you cannot force someone else's timeline to fall into place with yours if that's not meant or not meant anymore. So we're running a difficulty here between being the creator, but also only being the co-creator. And so all of that being said, there is no possible manipulation in here, but there is work on yourself that you can do to get through the timeline or find something that is matching your soul plan even better. This whole blueprint is something that I do inside of my mentorship because it is something that takes some time to really work through. You can start right now by asking yourself who you want to be, what your benefits are from the situation that you are in right now, and there's many ways how you can approach this, but I would always suggest go from the basement, look at your fears first, because this will shift the most. And if you need help with that, let me know.